Hi Gemini, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Gemini, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer and more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that's just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. For your key to the week this week, you have the Justice card. You know, justice is often about, it's a choice card, right? Just like the Lovers, only the difference is this is a card of commitment. Whereas the Lover's card, your card, is more about choice. It's like the choice that you make in order to make the commitment. However, this card can be about the balancing of the scales. And I got to be honest with you, Gemini, this may be a week where you're starting to see the repercussions of something that you've put out into the world. Doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. This could also be the results of something, but it is a balancing of the scales. So where maybe you've overdone it with something, I think you're going to come into an understanding of why or how. Where maybe you haven't delivered on something, you might start to understand where things are unevenly stacked. This could be in a relationship, in a partnership, it could be at work, it could be, for some of you, this could even be a legal matter and or situation that is now starting to complete or to culminate. In a lot of ways, I kind of get the feeling that this is going to be a week where you're seeing the results of something that you've already committed to, and now you're going to either have to adjust or you're going to have to put more in. All right, it's one of those moments where you know, like when you're on one of those rides as a kid, and then like you got like a little warning to say it was about to run out, so you'd have to put more money in. It's kind of like that sort of thing. For your actions and options, for those of you that are continued subbies, you know Rafi loves you, and if you are new to my channel, if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. So for your actions and options this week, you've got the Tower card, right? You got the Tower card here with the Justice card. There's a few ways that this could go, and I just got to call it how I see it. If I'm honest, when the Justice card came up for you guys, the reason I used the word repercussion, I know a lot of you caught that, you're Geminis, because words matter. I do feel if this may be one of those times where, you know, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash for this, and to be honest with you, I really don't give a shit anymore. Basically, this could be a time where you are getting your just results, just desserts, something that maybe you've set into motion. Maybe it was out of curiosity, maybe not out of spite or malice, but you're getting some sort of kickback because of it. Yes, this could be on a mundane level, but it could just as easily be on a karmic level. So this could result in what I affectionately over the years have come to understand as the astral bitch slap. One of those moments where karma, the universe, whatever you want to call it, gives you a little smack on the, you know, either a little bit of a on the cheek or on the wrist or on the tush, right? Something that you've set into motion, you're about to get the results of, and it may not be pleasant. You're going to have to ask yourself where you had a direct hand in this. The fact that you have the Tower card here as your actions and options, if your first response to this is you're missing the point, all right? And this isn't to say if something bad happens to the Geminis this week, they deserved it. What I'm saying is this week you're going to have to hold yourself accountable to where it is maybe you chose a stronger option for a response than was actually needed. All right, so this is something that you're going to have to wrestle out with yourselves. You guys know me by now. When I see what I see, I will read it. When it's good, I will tell you. When it's bad, I will tell you. And this week, I kind of get the feeling that whatever is coming up, it is something that you've set into motion, and now you're having to deal with the results of that. For your communications and conversations, you have the Page of Wands. All right, so this may come as a message, it may come as an email, a phone call from a friend, like however this reaches your ears, it will be one of those moments where, you know, somebody says something to you and you're like, ooh, that's awkward. You know, you can then start to peel it back and say, okay, yeah, I know why this is happening, and I know how I had a hand in it. Now, aside from that, for some of you, this could be a very official or a very legal, a very official or a very, like a very official or very legal sort of communication that comes in. So the Page of Wands suggests a letter, like an actual document. I mean, nowadays it's usually an email or a phone call. With the Tower card, this is likely to be a correspondence that you are really not expecting. And when it comes, you may be a bit like, yeah, okay, not really sure what to do about this, but I'm going to go through it and deal with it as I have to. Do what Geminis do best. Deal with the facts. For those of you that are studying and students, this is a week for you to get creative. If you don't get the response from the uni that you want, if you don't get the position at the school that you want, find a way around it. Don't choose the nuclear option, because that's not going to help you here. You're a Gemini, right? You're an air sign. You are the mutable air sign. You can find a way around this, all right? For those of you that are employed by somebody else, this could be new rules and regulations that are coming into, you know, that are being enforced in your workplace in response to ... Whether you like them or not, you know, if you're employed by somebody else, unfortunately, you do have to relatively play by the rules. This may be something that you're needing to look at and ask yourself, how viable is this then for me in the long run? For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, people that work for themselves, this could be an unhappy client. That's one way that this could show up for you. Again, check your response. This could also, on another side of it, it could literally be, what's the word? I would say this, be mindful this week of what you're going to put your name to or what you're going to decide to move ahead with. The reason I say this is because you could be more optimistic about something than maybe the results are going to warrant. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, this could be you dealing with potentially a legal situation on somebody else's behalf. We'll get more into that after. For your love and relations, you've got the Six of Pentacles. So you've got the Six of Pentacles underneath the Tower, right? For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, the challenge or issue that comes up, it may be something of a financial, origin. So maybe your partner's finances are a little bit worse than they had originally let on. Maybe you have a discussion with a loved one or a family member and they're like, look, you know what? Things are all over the place at the moment and I'm really struggling. This could be a moment at which you're having to intervene. I am going to say with the Justice card here, before you go off half-cocked, make sure you get the full story on this. And if you're going to go in for it, know that you are likely to be tied to this longer than you would expect. So just be very mindful of it. For those of you that are single and looking, the Six of Pentacles, this is what I like to call a karmic debt card when it comes to relationships. So some of you could be working through that kind of experience this week. And with the Tower in tow, this could be a week where you guys spin out a little bit. I'm not going to lie. All right. So try to find a way to keep your feet on the ground. For your money and materials, you've got the Temperance card. Okay. So this is nice. You got a time sequence here as well. Whatever is happening with your money, your finances, and your resources this week, you will be revisiting or seeing the results of in late November coming into early to mid-December, because that speaks to Sagittarius season. So whatever's happening this week with your finances, it's going to play out over a much longer time span and it will start to complete, culminate or end in Sag season. Be mindful of that. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I mean, this is a good card in that it can and does very often represent healing. So for those of you that are on healing journeys, especially with the Page of Wands and with the Justice card, some of you could be committing to a new healing methodology. Maybe your doctor says, look, we can get you better. We can, you know, I'm not a doctor, I can't give you medical advice. This is just an example. Let's say your doctor says, right, we can heal your type 2, but we're going to have to get really strict on your diet and we need you to start exercising more. This is going to be a big commitment, right? You're going to have to really, really get into it. You're going to have to really do the work, but if you do the work, the results could be great. Likely, time sequence, Sagittarius season is when this really starts to culminate. For those of you that are, when it comes to your home and environment, this card, right, especially with everything else, expect drama on the home front. I can't tell you enough. The Temperance card can bring some shit, right? Like seriously, when people say like, oh, Temperance, it's so lovely and wonderful, and it's got all of that, but you know, the Temperance card can be some shit, right? It's some drama, so just watch out for that. And with the Tower card here is the actions and options. If you decide, well, I don't like this, so I'm going to add some gasoline to that fire, what are you going to get, right? You need to be mindful this week. Really important. There's some possibly inflammatory conversations happening around money, finances and resources and the longevity of something. So the home front could be louder than we would prefer this week. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a conscious week. Choose to respond rather than react. All right, take care and I'll speak to you soon.